Yo, what's up, Doe? Hope you're well. Judging by the sad faces, maybe not. What's up, Mr. Doe? Taking ads are over. Yep. What's going on? Oh, sorry to hear. That sucks. Well, while I can't really say anything to fix things, I hope you start feeling better soon. It's always tough times. Gotcha. Okay. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. I hope you do feel better. I will stretch once we're into like BRB. It's a bit early for a stretch, but I will. But have a good one. Thank you for stopping by. Will do. You know me. I did not expect a song from a mini golf game to be this decent. I found it and I didn't really want to believe that it was going to be this good, but it's pretty decent. Anyways, hello everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's currently 7:30 p.m. Central Time. We're on to day 2, probably hopefully the last day of the Bluetooth speaker demo. I almost said Blue Box because I was like reading the Drawbox website. But anyways, yeah, day 2 of that. But as you know, before we get started, let's get started with a warm up. I moved my mic around today. I usually like leaving my mic in the same position because like when I don't get in many voice calls with people in Discord anymore, or like I'm I just don't get into like meetings or things, but I had both a meeting and joined a Discord call today, so my mic got all messed up. But yeah, I was quite happy with our work yesterday. I had quite a bit of fun as well, and enjoyed the thought processes happening. And I also should hit start on the timer. There we go. And I've been making a point on the weekends. I don't know how or why or what's inspiring me to do this, but I just draw. I found that drawing digitally with my mouse, because that's all I have. I did buy a drawing tablet, but I refused to use it until it's not a good idea, but I don't know. I just want to stick with the mouse and paint for now, and then once I get there, I'll learn the ins and outs of the digital medium. Because like when I draw digitally, I'm doing it just because I want to chill, right? I want to do or learn a new thing, which actually goes into a big point that I've been thinking about, and we're going to highly foreshorten this because I'm sick and twisted. Which is, what do you do? Sorry, I got the Mr. Rogers quote. Is it Mr. Rogers? I always mess it up. Is it Mr. Rogers? I feel, yeah, okay, Fred Rogers, yeah, Mr. Rogers. I messed it up that one stream, and I feel so bad after that. Whenever I was saying, I watched his speech with Senate the other day. Or I think the Senate or someone, where they're trying to approve funding for PBS. And what I just said reminded me of that. But no, sorry. What do you do when you feel so mad? What do you do when you are feeling upset? Or maybe just generally stressed or tired, fatigued, right? What do you do when you feel like that? But there's also that kind of call of creativity, where I think that call to be, to not answer the question of what do you do first, but to say where I think that call of creativity comes is, I thoroughly enjoy making things and being creative. Drawing, making videos, making graphics design, whatever. I love it. And so when I'm in times of stress or anxiety or whatever, I want to look to those things and say, hey, you make me feel good. I would like to do it. And oftentimes when I try, I'm in like a very anxious or upset state, and I try to engage with those activities. I do it with an expectation that it's going to make me feel better. And from what I've experienced in the 3-ish years I've been drawing, is going into art with expectations typically makes me feel worse off. So it's a pretty rough cycle of, hey, I want to drawing because drawing will make me feel better, and that very expectation could hurt. So the solution then is we'll draw without expectations, which is the golden question, or like the age-old question. How do you draw? How do you engage in art without any expectations? Because once you master that, you are set, right? And that returns to my original question, is what do you do when you're anxious and you want to create things? Because now we have like the caveat, typically for me at least, when I turn towards making things, I'm in a rough shape. And there's a YouTuber that I just started watching before stream. I happened upon this. I've been thinking about this. Yes, Struthless. He's the same guy who invented the white ibis thing, or Bear named it the white ibis. But he like kind of invented / introduced the, just draw one thing, right? Use it as your mouthpiece for your creativity, your comfort character in a way. See how much you could do with the one thing. And so, yeah, in this video, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm really interested. He's a great YouTuber. I need to watch more of him. I don't know why I don't. He speaks a lot of facts, and he's very positive. Very realistic, too. I appreciate Struthless's realism, yet like honesty and stuff, yet at the same time, he's very hopeful, very endearing, seemingly kind, and hardworking individual. But today I was, just kind of in a rough more anxious state. I get out of Thanksgiving, it's time to return back to school, and there's finals and there's projects, and I have a lot on my plate this upcoming month or two. Technically, I'm graduating soon, next semester, but I'm already making plans for all that. So yeah, high anxiety, right? No doubt. But I wanted to draw. I had a small gap between when I wanted to start my meal prep and draw. And so I joined Discord with my friends, which is something I don't do too often. And I was like, you know what? They're playing Marvel Rivals. I'll draw on Paint. And I just started going at it. I didn't really have any expectations for what it should look like. I was like, okay, I'm going to draw Venom. That was my expectation. I didn't really expect it to look good. And I feel like if I had an expectation, I would have abandoned the drawing a lot earlier. It was from reference. It was very much an experiment in coloring. But I did some challenging stuff without expectation. I was just, hey, I'm going to draw this. I treated it like a puzzle, and I didn't get mad at myself for failing. And the notion of a Control-Z there is pretty helpful for not removing expectation, but making you feel less bad about missed lines or stuff. But yeah, and I had a blast. I had a lot of fun. I got to chat with my friends. I got to watch them play a game. I got to hang out with them. I'm very happy with that. Yeah. So I figured out a thing. The end of the story that's been going on for 7 minutes now, probably more, is what do you do when you feel so mad and you're anxious, but you want to be creative because creativity to be a way to lessen the pains of things. You love making things. You want to return to that. You have to drop expectations. Now, why do we have expectations in the first place? Well, like I said, we expect that drawing will make us happier, but why will it make us happier? Well, I feel like the flaw is located there is because we think it's going to be pretty. In order for us, and that's the expectation, is drawings will only make us happy as if they're pretty. But that's not why we do this. I've made plenty an ugly drawing. I've made more ugly drawings than I've made pretty drawings by a large margin, and margin will never change. I'll have to do a 2 to, if I even get to a 2-to-1 ugly to pretty drawing ratio, which is subjective, right? I have a lot of work cut out for me then, Of course, that standard will change with time and all that stuff. And maybe I'm just having this conversation because I thought the Venom that I drew turned out really pretty. But if it was an ugly drawing, I wouldn't be as so excited to have this conversation. Who knows? I'm not one to play that game of what ifs and stuff, though. I shouldn't. But yeah, so the expectation that our art is pretty, we know that we don't love art, I guess, just because things turn out pretty. We can. But I think I've proven to myself many times that I can make ugly things and enjoy them as well. So we can then say pretty pictures is not a necessary condition for enjoying art. It could be a sufficient condition, but definitely not a necessary one. I feel like if it's the only sufficient condition, then it's shallow, right? You don't have a good foundation of why you like it. And this is a personal take, right? You can like art for whatever reason you want. I don't care. It's your life, bing bong. My mentality, and this kind of goes beyond drawing and art, but just kind of everything in life. Now, I would love to say I hold to this philosophy strong, but I don't. But the more things you stand atop of, you better hope they're strong, right? Like if you rely on many things, many fragile things, I should say, it's scary, right? It's that uncertainty. I'm not a fan of that. Hence why I've been doing fundamentals for like 500 days. Now in practice, I drive, right? And I don't have an alternative sometimes to not driving. Like there's of course caveats and stuff, but I love redundancy. Whoa. A bit shaky, and I don't know why. Nice. Crazy take. I've talked about Skyrim on this channel a lot. I've played so much Skyrim, or at least listened to the music so much, that like it kind of annoys me at sometimes. It's great music. Don't get me wrong. Jeremy Soule, if that's his name. Yeah, Jeremy Soule. Amazing. I love his music. Just like I need breaks. I need not listen to Skyrim music for like 10 years. I'd probably have like 500 hours in Skyrim, which like compared to TF2, which is literally 10 times that amount. Not much, but I feel like a single player game without crazy modding. Like I've never been fond of music mods. Very few of them capture the original aesthetic of the game. Or at least the ones I've tried. In fact, one time I tried a music mod for Skyrim and immediately started playing Imagine Dragons and I uninstalled it. I don't even think they're that bad of a band. I know they get a lot of hate. Hate, I'm not sure. A lot of criticism, right? But like, dude, Imagine Dragons in Skyrim? No. It was like a legit, I don't think, maybe it was Radiohead, which I feel bad for, conflating the two, but. And my ellipses are off today. We really don't have to care about ellipses, but we're still going to because warm-ups and such. This is Red Dead? Nope. Still the Walkabout Mini Golf. What a great soundtrack. So you can't blame me for thinking it has a very Ennio Morricone, I can't remember. Spaghetti Western vibe to it. Cool. Okay, we're gonna go into BRB, guys. Then we're gonna return to our speaker demo. We only have a couple lines to start. In fact, oh shoot, I forgot. We were about to. we were about to finish it today. And the problem with that is I forgot to watch the next demo. Brick. How? Oh, it's the wooden barrel demo too. That one's not really one I want to skip out on, is it? Shoot. Well, maybe we could have a watch along. How, Oh, the recording has no accompanying commentary. So that kind of works out. It's a 5-minute. Okay, we could maybe have a movie time together on stream. Wow, that's a complicated. Oh, crap. Wait, are we supposed to be doing these demos without a ruler? Because he just mentioned Ghost a lot. I thought we were allowed to use ellipses. Well, regardless. Oh, crap, that looks like a lot of work. Looks intimidating. We are going to take a BRB. So, be right back, guys. And we're back. Yeah, barrel demo. I can't see if you're allowed to use an ellipse guide or not. And I want to put a message in the chat, but I'm not sure if here. Why not? Well, let's make sure we read through the lesson first. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We haven't even finished the Bluetooth demo. It does worry me greatly, though. But then again, it's also a demo. And I'm not too worried about getting penalized for a demo that I'm probably not going to even submit. Probably. Yeah. Anyways, we are going to return to our Bluetooth speaker demo, which I'm quite happy with so far. Wink. Also, Red Dead music. Perfect timing, right? Yeah, I'm very happy with this. You guys can't see it, though. You have to pay for Tier 3 membership to be able to see my drawings. So, we have remaining the center little button of the speaker. It should be mentioned that uncomfortable found in the video that it should run through the center. I'm going to make it run through the center to make my life easier. I'm then going to assume it takes up about a quarter. We can make an exact quarter on here, but I'm just going to follow along with the guesswork that Uncomfortable did. And then he made it probably about a third wide, but I would still want to make it about a quarter. Actually, it's probably less than that. I also am not a huge fan of how he did like the insetting of it. He didn't explain that too well. I don't even think, well, he said he inset it, and it looks like he did. But it's very confusing how he went about it, so I actually kind of see how he did it. But for now, we're just going to focus on those lines. So, yeah, we're going to start with the line going through the center. I forgot to get out the big ruler that I hate. That ruler that I hate. Because we need this, or we don't need it, but we definitely like it for crafting our vanishing points. And we want to make sure the logo is not facing this way. It's facing the other way. We also want to make sure our timer's going. It's the second time this stream. Because it makes like, this makes like little weird red marks because the brand is crappy. And we're going to want to begin be using the Statler stick. The Statler stick. 430F, which I think probably stands for fine, which I really like. It's a bit lighter than the Bic, and maybe a bit thinner too. And I also forgot, man, I'm just unprepared this stream. It is a different stream than what we've been used to for the past 520-something streams, is getting out a little scratch page so I can doodle away with my pen. Nice. Okay, we're all set up. Only took us about 45 seconds. So, midline, how do we do this? Well, we already have the solution. We have a point right here, and we know that a VP exists down and far away there, which means we have 2 points. That creates a line. So the game now is finding where that point is, which I do by lining it up with the axis that we know the VP is on, because that's how we constructed the box. And then moving my finger up and pivoting until we hit it, which, boom, right here. Prep my pen. We didn't do that since yesterday. Also, I did stretch during BRB in case Mr. Joe is magically watching. Aye, okay. Set up 2 points there, and we could draw a line. I'm not going to, though. I'll do this. Just so I have that much more accuracy. And extending my arm all the way out there. And we're going to draw a line. Look at that. We have a line, guys. And I'm going to return to the demo, the reference from the demo. That is maybe a 6th. And we have a hard decision to make here. What does a 6th look like? I'm going to use the midline because that's how like we're looking at it. I don't want a tangent line, so I'm not going to put it right here, which you guys can barely see. Put it a bit under, so it doesn't have as many accidental intersections. That feels a bit like a 6th to me, maybe even a bit lower. And we probably should have lined this up the first time, or like, so we only had to do this thing once. But actually thinking about it, having the line there and then gauging what it would look like, probably a bit more effective. We're going to do the same here. Need to move our finger down a little bit. Move our finger up a little bit. And we're almost on the money. A little bit down. Perfect. Nope. We're so close. Nice. It's good enough. Shout out Red Dead 2. I really hope GTA 6 is as good as Red Dead 2. Who knows with the modern games industry now? Prep the pin. Great line. Okay, so now it's probably, yeah, I'd guesstimate a 5th. It gives 5th vibes. Maybe a 6th, centered on the 6th though, so it's not like an even 6th. What does that mean though? Well, first I'm going to double check how uncomfortable. Made it symmetric. He should have used the mirroring technique, did he? Let's see. Oh, we can't use the mirroring technique because it's not symmetrical about the midline. But that's trivial because once we pass one of these diagonals, we can just draw a line up, so it's not that difficult. In fact, the size of it is set because it intersects right here. Or like, it doesn't have to be. Also, amazing Red Dead. I haven't heard the song. I haven't finished Red Dead. I know of the ending, unfortunately, but I haven't finished it. So we could either get right next to it, which I kind of want. I also have to remember which one of these lines is the actual diagonal, because that'll come into play over here. Yeah, if we did it on the actual diagonal, I wouldn't vibe with that as heavy, so we're going to do it right here. Because I bet you the width of this will surprise us. You can tell lesson 6 is going to be a very, very challenging, challenging trial, I don't know, gauntlet of remaining focused, yet being extremely patient with over time with all of the amounts of like, make a dot, return to the VP, plot it, continue, like repeat. Oh, come on, that's so close. You're killing me. Back to walkabout, dude. YouTube Bear Mug is here. Holy moly. You wouldn't believe it. With the iconic Bear Mug stare Sorry, I love that profile picture. It's a good one. Well, welcome, Bear. Hope you're doing well. Bear Mug wants no music stream. But welcome. Hope you're doing well. What am I doing? We are doing lesson 6. We're drawing it kind of looks like I'm plotting. Like literally plotting, like scheming, making insipid or insipid. I think it's supposed to be insipid. Insipid devices, doodads and gadgets. We are doing lesson 6, which is like the big construction lesson, where we do construction of everyday objects, and we're doing a Bluetooth speaker. Now this speaker is actually like a cube practically. I'm going to draw through it this time. Oh. Yeah, so this is like the pure construction stuff. You know, bring it in. Look at that. Holy moly. It's fun. I like it. It makes my OCD brain so happy. I think that's like half the enjoyment I'm getting out of this stream. Also, let me check something on Discord real quick. Nice. But how's your day going so far, Bear? Dude, not cool. That's kind of like perfectly timed with asking how your day went. Ironic, given how I know the YouTube chat is notably slow. I forgot, how am I going to make this line symmetric? Yeah, I guess we'll mirror. But Uncomfortable didn't mirror. Oh, he did. He did mirror. Mirror. It was fine. Good to hear. A fine day. You missed the art philosophy part of the stream. I watched began watching a Struthless video to answer a question of what do we do when we feel anxious and want to create things. However, that attitude and environment may not be the best for creating things. To make a simple art curriculum thing for yourself. Oh, huge. I think that's a brilliant idea. Oh, also, We're not supposed to draw on the side of the logo because it has a bump on it right here. Stupid bump. Imagine having a straight edge that isn't straight. Only Kavel could. Huge. Well, I would love to see that art curriculum, just out of curiosity. I don't have any authority nor knowledge of how to critique that, but I'm curious to see what the titular bear mug will put on her art curriculum. Why did Uncomfortable do this? Is he insane? Is he mentally freaking insane? You only need one line. Oh, wait, no. If you do both, then you don't have to protect it. Nice. Oh! I probably peeked the mic. Sorry, you scared me. Oh, wait, that's on the wrong account. I read it as, fuck it, it's Twitch Bear Mug. Stream jump scare. Holy moly. I forgot to change the stream notification to frick. Any suggestion for the stream notification for next stream Twitch Bear Mug? I'm not talking to you, YouTube Bear Mug. Get out of here. Fuck you. Get out of here. Scram, skedaddle. Oh yeah, I forgot according to Kat, I'm not allowed to swear. My bad. Or no, she discovered that I swear. Kind of reminds me of that one Vine or TikTok or whatever it is, where it's the girl who's like, yeah, I cuss. I want to make a Temu version of Gravel. That's such a fun drawing prompt. Make like a knockoff version of Euro C. You know how there's like the One Piece knockoff characters? I think I would need to add Twitch notifications now. Oh, true. You don't have to, but you can still recommend a stream notification. As long as it's funny. Okay, I'll use that. Thank you very much. In fact, here, wait, let me update it right now so it procs next stream. Nice. It's set. I'm gonna take a sip of water. If you do actually have one, though, feel free to say it. I'll just do it for the next stream. I unmuted while I was swallowing the water, and that would not have been a nice noise. And I have ice in my mouth. I would do an ASMR mic ice crunch, but I'm not doing that. I would do it, but I'm not. Okay. I know what I should and shouldn't do on the internet. I've never done anything stupid on the internet before. I just realized making this small did kind of hurt me. Because I have to stick a button in there now. I don't want to stick a button in there now. And I also don't want to shade this. That is something I don't want to do. Alas. Always been trying to do more aware of what I say on the internet. I really should, but I feel like streaming has hurt me because I don't have the energy to care anymore. Or I do care, of course. I'm not gonna I've said, I've been an idiot, right? I've said stupid stuff, and of course I want to be better. All that. I probably got heated in a game and said horrible things to someone, whatever. But at a certain point, I do swear more frequently on streams now. Mainly because I know for a fact that for 500 days, 3 people show up. Not always. There's a lot of tangent lines right there. He says. And there's just lines at the top that I just don't want to draw, but we have to, so. I don't know how I'm gonna... how I want to texture this. Because I'm not a huge fan of texture. I'm not particularly fond of texture. I'm not particularly grand at texture. Are you excited to go back to school? I literally said no to that earlier this stream. Or like when I was doing my little art philosophy segment earlier, I was like, I'm going back to school and I have all this anxiety about it. Or like these, I mean, okay, I'm not too upset about it. I just hate the fact that I'm like thrusted back into all these assignments, such as life though. So that's a downside. Yeah, I don't really care. It's mainly like it's gonna get super turbulent during January, end of December, January with study abroad, which I'm excited for. Don't get me wrong, just wow. That's a lot. Studying in a different country for multiple, like 9 hours, 8 hours a day. It's gonna be rough. I'm most worried about the plane flight. Not like it crashing or anything. I can't control that. It's my sleep. Every time I've gone abroad, I've messed up my sleep schedule. I've never actually, the only time I was good with it was Portugal. Shout out Portugal. That's probably why I liked it so much, is because I wasn't like delirious. I was climbing frickin' hills or mountains. I don't know what it classified as. By day 2 or day 3. Like, I was gangster. In Italy, I literally, like, in Italy, I had such bad sleep deprivation, and it was like 100 degrees outside. No joke, like 100 degrees outside, and my hotel room didn't have any AC. So in the middle, like at 10 a.m., I had like almost a heat stroke while walking outside. I deliriously waltzed back to my apartment, got in my bed, opened all the windows, and like completely got booty ass naked. And like sprawled out on my floor for like 3 hours, and like in like a haze. Like I was out of it. It was so bad. It was like, I don't know what maybe it was, I was like crazy dehydrated or something. But dude, it was so bad. And then like when 4 o'clock hit, I felt fine. But yeah, I was dazed. I was not there. This was in Florence, Italy. I did not know what before traveling to Florence. It's a different kind of hot than I'm used to. I live in a place where it commonly gets to 100 degrees. I'm used to it. It sucks, right? I don't want to be out in 100-degree weather, but like I've grown up with it. 100 degrees in Italy is different. Did I enjoy this trip a ton? Yes, of course. But like that was a rough day. I didn't get any sleep on the plane. All of Rome, I slept pretty poorly, and I was like very delirious. It only got good by the time I was in Cinque Terre. I think I was staying in Maranello. And like Lucca and all that, like the later half of the trip was amazing. It was my favorite. Especially Lucca. Lucca was it was great. Wonderful temperatures, very kind people, generally chill atmosphere. Portugal, I literally had none of that. I was like, I arrived to Portugal at like 4 a.m. I think, maybe 3. All I had. I got there, I went to a Starbucks and got a ham and cheese croissant at like 4 a.m. and then walked around the city until 10 a.m. Went on a 2-hour walking tour. Went to wherever like the neighborhood Café de Belém is, like the Belém neighborhood, I think. Yeah. I went to Belém. I keep saying it's stupid. Or like Time Out Market. Then went back to central Lisbon. Hung out, walked around the Alfama neighborhood, went back to Berlin for like all the historic stuff, and went to Cafe de Berlin and fell asleep at like 11 p.m. I was fine. And it was also like a very nice temperature. So it was like what? Walking. I walked 30 miles, I can't remember what the number was. It was like 20 something thousand steps. And I didn't sleep on the plane, or like I slept for 4 hours on the plane because I didn't know. I thought the plane flight to Portugal was 11 hours and it was 9. And I didn't know when they would serve dinner. And so I just didn't sleep on accident. Very stupid. Don't do that. What is this Egyptian music? Like, this is like... And if anyone was to ask me ever where to go to Portugal. Portugal's awesome. People are kind. Food is great. I loved every bit of it. Go to Lisbon. Go to Porto. Go to... go to Sintra. Go to Coimbra. You can skip Coimbra if you want. Go to... was it... Can't remember if it was Fatima or... I can't remember. It was a very pretty town, though. I was in it for like only a little bit. And I will not hide the money I spent. The plane flight round trip 2 weeks was $600, $645, I think. And then I stayed in hostels. I go to the Yes Lisbon hostel, and there's like, I think it's called like the Cat Hostel in Porto. Those were my two favorites. They're extremely kind. They gave me a discount my second time there. And those were about €15 a night, or like, yeah, I think €15 a night. And overall, the money, including like food and hostels, everything was no more than $700 to $800 American dollars. Not cheap, of course. No, I'm not saying any of this is cheap. Holy crap! I still am recovering the money from that. But I just realized I measured this VP twice. This guy is not smart. But it was absolutely beautiful. A big fear I have when going to another country, or really anywhere, is that I'm not going to connect with people. And in some ways, there's like anti-tourist graffiti in Italy, in some parts of Germany, which, like whatever. I'm not going to make any comments about that because I don't know the situation, right? But like, of course, as a tourist, it makes you feel a bit rough, which is probably the intended effect. Who would have guessed? And, but in Portugal, they're like, hey, come on, like, go do this thing. Go to the random people would approach me on the street. Hey, what's your name? Where are you from? And it wasn't like scams or anything. I know that's like the default. Me too. I was like initially defaulting that. And they would just be like, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? And then, at the end, they would just be like, okay, well, have a good one. Bye. Do you normally walk alone? Do you feel safe doing so? Depends on the country. Most of the time I was in Portugal, I walked alone. And generally I felt safe doing so. I didn't go out at night frequently. And if I did, it was with a group of people. Or it was very like small towns. I'm not going to call Coimbra small, but like the area of Coimbra that I was in, it was very small. There was no one out. It was very quiet nights, so I generally felt safer if I was going home around 10 from something. I haven't... the only place I've felt somewhat unsafe... Oh, and also... actually, no, yeah. There were some parts of Portugal I did feel unsafe. Because, especially like Lisbon, I think that was the only place, because there's a huge amount of scams in some parts of Lisbon. Not as big as Italy. But once again, at night, I'm usually with people. During the day, I frequently wasn't, but I felt pretty safe. I never went to sketchier areas, and I always most of my hostels had warnings about dangerous things to do or places to go. And I got the free tour guides. Most places have free tour guides. And they would say like, hey, don't do this. Or like, you could just ask them, hey, is there anything like I should avoid? Or stuff like that. Yeah, the most frequent scam in Portugal was someone would walk up to me with a huge coat. It was literally like out of a cartoon. They would like open the side of the coat up and they would be like, "Hey, you want some hash?" I'm like, "No," or like Coke, and I'd be like, "Dude, no Coke. Who are you scamming? Coke? I don't want Coke. Hash, I could like give. Okay, whatever. You're offering me weed. Who cares? Coke, brother. No, I don't want Coke. Thank you very much." But yeah. And yeah, Italy, the scams are really, they would yell at you. I remember I was sitting drawing for like an hour and a half in Rome, and there's this dude just, you could see walking circles in front of me, just like yelling at you. He like went to this one dude, and this one dude just turned him down. He just started like yelling at him, calling him a racist, calling him swears. That I got up and left. I felt unsafe. Of course, like there's a crowd of people. Who cares? Nothing bad's gonna happen. It's just a spat, but still. I've been fortunate enough, one, to be able to have these kind of experiences, but two, to be generally safe. The only time I felt angry during one of these was I was once again in Rome, and there's this beautiful overlook. I can't remember the name. And there's like these rose scams. They'll be like, they'll offer you a rose, and they'll be like, "Hey, you have to pay me for that." And there's this one dude kind of like heckling my mom. And it's like, "Hey, ma'am, take this rose." And she says no. She says no. And he like walks off, and he comes back like 2 seconds later. And like really start, I'm like, "Hey, man." Like I raised my voice a bit. My dad legit just kind of like stood in front of me, told him to go. I was getting, dude, like, what the hell? You know, we played the game. Oh, also, I just saw your thing, Bear. Wait, why did that get sex-based terms? You put :D? I'm allowing that. Why can't I can't add D to the list. The list of good things to say. I can't add it. Bear, you have successfully broken Automod. Congratulations. This is your congratulations music. It censored the D. It's just, you can't have that. It's too much. That's stupid. You get a big medal with :D on it. Which way do you want the colon? Do you want it :D or D:? This is very important. Okay, so now we add the curves. And to do so, I bought this when I first started Drawbox a couple of years ago, all these French curves. So we'll figure out the curves we need to do this. D:? What? Ridiculous. We're a :D household. All right, let's get started. Oh, shoot, how did they like bevel that edge? Oh, frick. Uncomfortable. You didn't talk about how to do this. Dude, you're stressing me out. Yeah, like I'm prepared for it to curve on top, but not like on the side. And I remember when I was looking through the lesson 6 chat, Optimus, who has helped me before, back in lesson 2, I think, with form intersections, gave a quick explanation, a very in-depth one. I don't know why I'm saying quick, of how to do this. Also, I don't know which of these curves would be best for this. Let's do this like wacky one. Look at this one. Ooh. What's going on here? This music gets it. What's so cool? Like, I don't understand what French curves are. Are they like mathematically placed to do this? What makes them so special? I need a softer curve than this. And that's the one I kind of started with. Fancy curves, true. I just wonder if there's like a beautiful, like, oh, this is like the, mathematically it has every possible curve. Something. Okay, first curve going in, guys. How's it going to be? How's it going to look? We're about to see. French that curve. Gangster. Felt a bit of a low degree. I'm actually going to make it a bit darker because these are kind of like our final silhouettes. Yerp. Also, I think Venom has become my new favorite White Ibis. Very simple character, but great for experimenting with musculature. Gravel's, not scrawny, average. Gravel's average, and what is muscularity the right word? I don't know. Musculature. I feel like Venom's a great step up. Congratulations, you won. Congratulations, you won. And more on the notion of the White Ibis, I was actually talking about that YouTuber earlier. This stream. Believe it or not. Struthless, I believe is his name. I need to start remembering that more for whenever I refer to the White Ibis. I'm not sure if you're trying to focus, Bear, and I apologize. Feel free to say, shut up, Kavel, I'm focusing. But what do you hope to get out of this art curriculum that you're crafting for thyself? I feel like direction is like a given. Art curriculums give us good direction. We can put our heads down and do them, so long as we're confident and trust that they'll get us where we need to go. Look at this tiny one. I like it. Picasso, I like it. I am aiming to redo the 51 animation exercises, but make it so it's manageable and where I'm confident enough to replicate the process every time. Huge! Big, big, big. Does this have a timeline associated with it, or will it be kind of free form? All the French curves are bigger, so this is kind of the smallest I can go. 51 frickin' animations. Here, I thought the box challenge was hard, because I realized that every time I try doing it, I always end up overestimating my ability with the scenario I want to create, so everything is going to be simplified. Gotcha. Do you have like a set of rules? Sorry, I'm bombarding you with questions. I'm just curious. Feel free to return to what you're doing. Do you have like a set of rules to guide this? Rule number 1, thine shall not draw titular bear mug throwing it back. Crazy style. I probably shouldn't have thickened that line up, because it's not particularly observable. Oh, shoot, I also forgot to... I could still draw through it, though. I'm also aiming to give myself a week, because I know I'm pretty comfortable finishing things in 2 weeks, but because I'm not aiming to be perfect, I think a week is fine. Gotcha. Also may change my White Ibis to a character with an established character sheet, but has similar proportions as Bear. I think that's very wise. And huge. I wonder who this interesting character is. Also, another question. Once again, feel free to tell me to stop. Do you have any guidelines for like how much you should work in a day? Because like for me, whenever I do challenges such as this or etc., I try to stop myself from doing something for more than like 6 hours, for say. Right. Now, when it comes to school, of course, yeah. Good to hear. Because yeah, when it comes to school, I have a terrible, terrible habit of just doing something all day and then, yeah, right. Of course, not being too happy with it because I've just done it for 6 hours and I feel awful. But also sometimes, like with certain things, I don't have a schedule for it because it's very different. Like for working on my lesson videos, I just, instead of having like work on it for 4 hours, the bare minimum was just do one of the sections per day, which I often did more than just, that's why it's a bare minimum, right? But like I found that in personal projects, making mandatory breaks is so crucial. It's just as important as making mandatory work hours. I'm doing an hour long after I eat lunch. Nice. Because I notice I usually have enough energy to do an hour a day deliberately. Huge. Sounds like you got a good plan going. What is your biggest worry or like biggest concern about this? I was like, yay, sounds great. What are you most worried about? What is going to fail? How is it going to fail? That I won't commit to it again. Well, not to be reductive, but hey, it sounds like that is the easiest thing for you to control. Now, that's reductive, right? Of course, it's much more complex than that. But of all things to be worried about, you know, like a car crashing through your wall or the sun exploding, I feel like being worried about your commitment is much more, it's a decently controllable thing. And I feel like it'll be, you know, the greatest or like an unseen challenge of it will just be the notion of committing to something. And the fact that you're iterating and recognizing where you failed, making statements such as, I typically have enough energy to do it then, or I typically do something in 2 weeks, bodes well for your success. But yeah, I don't want to, I realize it does kind of sound reductive to be like, oh, well, you can control that, so it must be. No, it's not going to be easy just because you can control it. But what I'm trying to say, because this is one of my favorite quotes that I'm going to say I invented because I don't remember hearing it from anybody. But whenever things get tough, especially with art, I tell myself this is the friction that builds great artists. If it were, you know, if it's an extension of if it were easy, everyone else would do it. But more so, you know, like the thing that I am experiencing right now, this feeling, this anxiety, this stress, this grain, this is why everyone stops. And so long as I stick it through this part, I've overcome where most have failed. I'm learning from when I work out early in the morning. It's been pretty consistent. Huge. So hopefully after lunch, that reminds me, instead of watching YouTube, I just draw instead. Huge. Okay, I'm not sure if you're like this. I have YouTube in the background a lot of the times that I draw. Like a Germa stream, or like maybe I'm listening to my friends in Discord. So maybe that could be a cool segue. I'm not sure if you vibe with that, but like you could put on to YouTube and then start drawing. But sometimes I do pause or deafen when I need to focus up. Kind of missed it, but it's okay. I do too, but it's just a habit of end up binging instead of having as a background noise. Truth. YouTube media selection is a difficult task. We have it so hard. Okay, to do uncomfortable made this seem easy because he kind of abstracted it. There is a way to do this. However, I'm not particularly fond of doing all that because I don't think that's the purpose of this demo. Let me take a sip of water. My bad, yeah. Oh god, he's British. Why? Oh, shoot. Oh, wait, no, we're fine, we're fine. Calm the hell down, Kavel. Holy. You still messed up a bit, but it'll be fine. This, but it curves. But how? Well, it's like there's a sphere here. Spheriously. This is being subtractive, but also uncomfortable is technically being subtractive, so I don't care. I think I don't care. I'm telling myself I don't care for my own sanity. Eagerly waiting the one day you for your drawing crash out, praying for my downfall. My biggest hater's in chat right now, and she wants me to tear this page in half. She wants me to. It will happen. I'm not gonna, like, I can't imagine it won't. And then I'll end up in live stream fails, and then like I'll lose a patch of my hair just out of stressing about that, and then it'll be over. It's gonna be like a band-aid, you know. I just gotta, you know what? Let's start right now. Just get it over with. Like, it amazes me, like, has Jerma had a crash out like that? I know he's at, like, Simpsons Hit and Run, he was mad, but, like, that's nothing compared to, like, Poke. Literally the other day, where Poke was just crashing it. It makes me wonder if you'd do that with Jerma. No, I would not. I would not. I don't think I'm physically capable of that with drawing. Part of me was like, should I show this to them? And I was like, yeah, screw it, why not? Hell yeah. Yeah, like some moments of it, like you're like, oh, for lack of a better word, it's like watching a car crash, right? You're like, oh, he's mad. He's not having fun. But I used to get very angry at video games. I've stopped caring completely, and now I play video games and have much more fun. I minge almost. Like, I don't take it seriously at all. I just watch a Redline video, and I'm like, the word minge is in my head. Like, I just can't care anymore, and I don't, and I have so much more fun. But, like, I would baby rage so bad. And I feel bad for my friends, who I'm still friends with decades later. A decade later, not decades, let's be honest. Like 10 years later, I'm still friends with these people, and they watched me crash out like that on a video game. The clip I sent, I was obviously just having a fun time. That kind of marked when I no longer got mad, is that video. That one was like 2022, 2021, where like I would just completely, after COVID, I just completely stopped taking games seriously. Especially when I got into college. And that was just me having fun. I actually, after I said that insipid vile thing, which I will not repeat here, I was actually almost got vote kicked by a random person for saying that. And I'm not sure if you can see, I was like one of the top players on the team. They tried getting rid of me for saying that, and I was carrying with my friends. Like, dude. Do I regret saying it? No, it's funny. I don't care. I don't regret saying it at all. Was it a stupid thing to say? Yeah. Will I say it again? Yes. I think I said that a couple months ago when I last played Helldivers. I'm sorry, but there's a passion. There's a passion. And saying things like that, you know, you could only a truly passionate and person immersed in the video game could say such a thing. And that's how you know TF2 is one of the best games of all time. Just kidding. Sorry. And I only make that joke because I have that's my most played game. So for all those lazy purple fans in chat who are like, this guy hates TF2, kill him. It's a game of all time. You don't actually sound like that. I apologize. No, I like TF2. Do I miss some aspects of older TF2? Yeah. Mainly the community of older TF2. It's changed. The bot crisis has changed people. They added the seal. Have some respect. Bear, they killed the seal. They killed them in the last update. Bear, did you hear? You better not have, because I lied, so. But it could have happened. It could have happened. And that would have sucked. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for playing with your emotions like that. I shouldn't have. The seal is alive and well. She's doing well. They added that freaking Italian map, though. Like, that's the worst map in TF2, other than the freaking, like, Swiss Miss one or whatever it's called. It's not Swiss Miss. Whatever that freaking terrible festive one is. I feel like Bear just unfollowed. I could hear it. I can't see my live follower count, but I have a feeling I could just hear it. Nope. No, I could also, like, actually feel bad. I'm sorry. I'm actually sorry. Oh, crap. I'm sorry. I've learned a lesson today. Don't make Bear Mug angry. Her eyes turn red and she reaches at you through the screen and says, "I am evil. I'm evil, Bear Mug." And she reaches out of the screen and yeah. You also got auto-modded? I didn't even see it. We'll allow it. Yeah. I feel like I deserve that one. I'll allow it. That's fair. I deserve that. I need to know my place. You know, the seal's doing alive and well. That map isn't that good, sadly. It's Pyro Hell. Every time I play it, a bunch of people play Pyro for no reason. I love it as Scout, but I don't know. It's very close, very tight map. I like Scout on it. Probably because it's that tight, but... Sounds like the Talos Principle soundtrack. But it's Witcher 3! Oh my god, how could I... Dude, big fan. Holy crap. Witcher 3 has to be in my top 5 games of all time. Especially, Blood and Wine. And definitely not Heart of Stone. I miss video games, man. So today, when I got my call with my friends, I was like, I want to play a video game, and they just started playing Rivals, and so of course I started drawing. And then they got off Rivals like an hour and a half later, and my friend was like, "Hey, want to still play games?" I was like, "I'm sorry, I was drawing." I feel really bad. And I had to go do my meal prep. And I would play after stream, but then I have to go to bed because tomorrow's Monday. Dude, it sucks. My life is like a video game, trying hard to beat the stage. Something while collecting coins. Gangster. That's my alarm sound. Gets me hyped in the morning. Then I smash 3 Red Bulls. Let's do a energy drink tier list, but just I put Red Bull in S and everything else in F. If you're a person who tells me you like C4 energy drinks, stay away. C4 freaking Starburst. It's good. It tastes good, and that's the problem. That's like, what, 300 milligrams? Is Red Bull actually good? It tastes... it tastes like something you'd pour into your car. That's good. Okay, don't drink it. It's a lot. but it tastes like something you'd pour in your car, and I like it for that. It tastes like what an energy drink should taste like. It's not bitter. It's sweet, but it's a very strange flavor. When you smell, if you like hold a Red Bull up to your nose, what it smells like is exactly what it tastes like. It almost kind of reminds me of like if you've ever had it, sparkling apple juice. And now time for a story time. I went to the Austrian Grand Prix in Spielberg, Austria, at the Red Bull Racing Arena, the home track of Red Bull team in Formula One. So, of course, the only things, this is in Austria, okay? The only things they have to buy there for food and drink, like at the stands, is like currywurst, whatever. Normal, like sausage, just sausages, some with curry, some without. Big potato wedges, fries, and then just any Pepsi product, water, and beer. That's like all I could remember being available there. Oh, and bread. Like you could just buy a roll of bread, like an aesthetically pleasing roll of bread. I am an idiot and thought the sugar-free Red Bulls thought caffeine-free. So I slammed like 4 or 5 of those. And I felt very bad. And I wondered why. Don't slam 4 to 5 sugar-free Red Bulls thinking that they're also caffeine-free. Yeah. I was repeating the story for the thousands of other viewers watching. But dude, like crap. And I stayed in Weiskirche. It was like a smaller town right next to it. And holy crap, man, I walked around that town like 80 times that night just to get it out of my system. It was rough. Do not do that. It was a bad choice. Red Bull Arena, awesome. Very loud. Very weird acoustics compared to other tracks that I've been to. Freaking Red Bull won that race and Ferrari caught on fire. So I didn't enjoy the race because of that. And freaking Hamilton and Lewis both crashed in like Q2 or something. I can't remember. It was pretty much a Red Bull sweep. I think that was back when not Perez. Yeah, Perez, right? Sergio Perez. Yeah, Perez. When Perez was on Red Bull, I think. Who knows? Good race though. Once in a lifetime experience. Let's round out this. I don't want to do textures. I don't wanna. Kavel says, stomping his feet on the ground. Yeah, like I kept buying, like I got the normal free earphones that they give you, and it wasn't helping. So, like I kept buying earphones because everything was so loud and overwhelming. And at a certain point, I just gave up, and like I just had to stick with whatever earphone I could stick with. And you're gonna be like, Kavel, what is your take on going to Formula events? You're going to watch a car go around in a circle for a second, or like, boom, and then you look back up at the screen. And that is the entirety of a Formula event. It's cool being there in person, but like I really only go if my parents are like, we got tickets, let's go, and I'm like, yay. But like, dude, you're just watching a car go. Like, not to be reductive, I love Formula. I think the engineering is so cool. That's why I care about Formula so much, is the engineering is awesome. The strategy, the engineering, the logistics, all of it is amazing. But like, what it actually is, let's not kid ourselves, it is cars going around in a circle. Is it some pretty freaking awesomely engineered cars? Hell yeah. I do not. That is something I do not wish would ever happen. In fact, I would rather that have laws against that. How, Bear, you actually may like this. I'm not sure. This was from a Cleo Abrams video. I've never watched Formula E, but apparently in Formula E, like crowds can cheer and increase the speed of a car. And you can give them like speed boosts and stuff like that. This is the Formula Electric series. So I feel like you'd like that. I feel like that's as close as you can get to anthropomorphizing cars. Yeah. I'm not going to say it's less serious than the actual formula, but it's, you know, it's more meant for crowd involvement and to get like hyped for electric vehicles. I don't know. This was once again from a Cleo Abrams video, who she is, I believe, a reputable source and things. Just like, I may be misremembering, or she may be like, you know, abstracting a lot of information as to how that works. I think it's like through your phone. Because like normally in normal Formula One, and just in Formula racing in general, you have something called DRS, drag reduction system, I believe that's what it stands for. And basically you can reduce drag on straights, decreasing air resistance, making you go faster. It's like a little speed boost. And you can only use it in certain zones at certain times. And so I'd imagine it kind of works like that. So like you have the option to go that fast. I think it's like through voting on the phone. Like, you know how you like an Instagram live? It's probably like that to some degree. However, the visual of people yelling at their phones is kind of funny. Then again, I don't know. This is, once again, a Cleo Abrams YouTube short. Dude, she's so cool. Cleo Abrams and that I saw. Apparently, she did a YouTube short with Mark Rober, I believe, which is like, that makes sense. That makes a ton of sense for those two to make a video together. At least I think that's her name. And this is back when I used to heavily watch shorts a lot. I'm not too happy with the execution of this, but everything else is pretty freaking neat so far, methinks. I just want to avoid shading it. We may go a little bit over time today, just to finish this off. I thought it would take less time, but it seems it has not. And let's see, yeah, there's some concentric squares at the top of this. That we ought to decide on how we do. So I'm going to set those lines up and then curve them. The usual. And what we can do here is make one line and mirror, and we should be good. Pre-roll ads are over. Don't leave the stream, guys. Actually, I'm not sure how it works. I want to make a video game. Not sure what, but I want to make a video game. I want to make a video game with Godot. And the problem with that is I have YouTube videos to make. But I want to make a video game. Does somebody say ads? Ads addict. Somebody stop her. Somebody come get her. Sorry. I deserve like 10 lashings for that. Vine brain rot. Oh, what is the song? Holy. Lady Gaga? What are you doing in this playlist? Excuse me? Wait, turn it up. Holy. Since when did Lady Gaga do this? What? That was beautiful. What the hell? Ma'am. Hell yeah. Holy. What? Well, there you go. That was Lady Gaga, I guess. Respectfully. That kind of sounded disrespectful. No, respectfully. I just realized something that I'm not going to say on stream, but I may put in Discord later because it's funny. Dude. Hate it when my pen doesn't make lines. It's like the one thing you're supposed to do, dude. Yeah, doo-doo. Uh-oh, it's getting... Whew. It's getting a bit messy. Yipes. Zoinks, even. Oh, crap. Okay. Oof. Okay, I think I got it. Lesson 6 is a war of attrition. The best way I can describe my very little experience with this lesson so far. With this epic music in the background. Do we need to give a speech or something? Jeez. Okay, let's put those curves in here. And I'm not gonna texture this on stream. I'm not gonna texture this, and if I have to, I'll just do it off stream. Or maybe we'll do it at the start of tomorrow's stream. For funsies. Music's getting hyped though. If any soundtrack were befitting of lesson 5. So I've learned my lesson when it comes to very small curves. Just draw the line yourself. Don't French curve it. Don't French that curve. And the cool thing about ballpoint is you get like one free line. A very light line. Oh no! Oh no, Bear Mug is giving me more. Gonna consume those though. Goodbye. Have a good one, Bear. I'm not sure if you can even hear me, but... The hats have already taken her. This is a great song to have at the end of the stream, like very intense. Well, I thought Bear meant gonna consume the ads, but I think she just means general content. General content? Maybe Germa's still streaming right now, is he? I don't have my stream thing up. So intense. Run with your heart. I mean, yeah, if there's ever a song called that. Chilling. I'm vibing with it though. Respectfully. Maybe we should have used one of the interior curves here. Yeah, maybe the smaller ones deserve the interior curves, but even at that point. Yeah, we'll freehand it. That's usually a sign that something's about to go horribly wrong, is the words I'm gonna freehand it. Oh, Baldur's Gate. I heard the beginning, I like instantly turned my head. Nice. Okay. Very gangster so far. Um let's do a shadow. Let's see. If a shadow's coming, it's gonna come hit this side. And it's gonna cap off eventually, but this is a very yeah, so the light source would have to be like very above it to project that shallow. So, and I'm not going to do that shallow. Maybe we'll get it from over there, but I'm going to project this way first. And let's see what's going to happen. If we're projecting up here, what will give us, I guess, yeah, the most flat shadow will be one that's directly above, right? Because that will get this contour perfectly. As we move away, this corner is going to be projected more flat, 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 flat until it's infinitely far away. Kind of like the straw through the paper method, the pin through the paper method that we talked about. So this is going to still be pretty tall. But for now, we're going to also assume, I guess the light source is infinitely far away in the sense like these are going to be parallel. Would it make sense? No, because if a light source like converged, that means there's two light sources. If they never converge, that means there's one light source. Would it make sense for it to be like this? Yeah, because that just changes where it's the plane that it's hitting. So we just have to make sure that these lines don't converge down here, but can converge up here. So I kind of vibe with this. I actually should have started with this line because this is going to be the longest one, and we'll probably see the top from this. Like, we'll go over here. No way is it this song. It is this song, isn't it? Maybe? I don't know. It is this song. Dude, I need to finish the stream before it happens. This isn't one of those TikToks, I swear. It's like motivational music and stuff. We're gonna call it there. Okay, everybody. End of the demo. I'm not shading it. I'm gonna see if I can get a whip not shading it. Very fun stuff. Review. Freehand, very small curves confidently. That turned out really good up there. Kind of crappy down here. It is a war of attrition, lesson 6. I'm gonna minimize drawing lines I don't need. Mirroring works well. Use this little method right here, pivoting off the finger for the VPs. God, the song I can't take seriously. Okay, we're going to end it there, everybody. Success. Thank you very much for joining, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.